right, guys, welcome to episode 8 of the Converted Podcast. We are glad you guys are back. We are back in the saddle and we are fired up. If you're a new listener, this is a show about the Convert to Raid Guild on Aerie Peak. So, I am Bill Schnickel, and we got the lovely, illustrious...
I'm Sal.
that was your cue.
I'll remember that for next time. But in today's episode, we have Stinky Mage Pants himself. And then we'll talk to Ms. Red, the event planner for the guild. And then Louu will be here to talk about your team in raid awareness.
That sounds good,
But for now, Bill Schnickel, how have you been this past few weeks? Haven't talked to you.
I've been good, man. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. I'm gonna have to start taking notes because like during the week stuff happens. I'm like, oh, I want to remember that for the show, and I forget. You know what I mean? So it's been crazy. I got my Mage over on Aerie Peak. I'm a glutton for anything that Blizzard does and gives us a discount. I'm a sucker for that.
It's a sale.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I can get my Mage. So I brought my Mage over. Been playing the Mage, actually having a good time with the Mage. Not used to actually damaging things. So that's been good. Been over in the Barrens. Was up late last night. I was hurting this morning playing with Devlin from Twitter and the guild. And we were up in that place, man, in the Barrens. We were spanking those mobs like they took our loot, man. It was crazy. It was violent. It was awesome. We were just gathering up as many people as we could. And just wrecking stuff. The commanders, kind of going from commander to commander, doing that stuff. So it was fun, man. That was a good time. I would encourage you guys, if you're doing this stuff in the Barrens by yourself, find somebody, anybody. Healer, tank, another DPS. It's that much better, that much more fun, and a lot faster. So look into that.
Oh, it's faster for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
As far as raiding, I got to give a shout out to my raid team. We got Tortos last night for the win raid team. I don't give those guys enough love, man. I love those guys. We have a great time. We got a new hunter last night that joined our team, and we had a good time, man. We got Tortos down. I think it was like our 5th attempt maybe or so of the night. So that was good, man. We're having a good time with that team and just eating up the content, man. We're doing it up that way. So it's been good. Getting bonus rolls, man. Like I had 3 coins going into last night. Yeah. I normally don't have coins because I don't do dailies, but I got some from doing the stuff out in the Barrens, right?
The Barrens, yeah.
So I go in there, right? First boss, Jinrock. I'm like, let me roll something. Boom, piece of loot. Didn't need it. I had a better chest, but I got some loot, right?
Okay.
Second boss, Hordon. Roll. Boom, more loot. Boot upgrade. I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good, right? Go to council. Throw the dice down. Let's roll. Boom, more loot.
You got 3 times.
I got 3 times in a row last night. So the loot gods are smiling.
What'd you get
on
from council?
Man? It was crazy. I got yo, how you gonna put me on the spot? Don't maybe log in and check. I got
I'm only asking because there's several things that I need from council.
Bracers.
Okay.
Thunderforged. Actually, Thunderforged bracers, I believe. Yeah.
Ooh.
Look it up in the armory. Yeah, it was good.
I got new boots last night.
Okay.
Thunderforged.
Nice.
From Jinrock. Yeah, and I've been watching them drop. They keep dropping just the regular 522s. And I saw our healer get them because you know spirit gear is for elemental chamois and resto chamois. Not a lot of people understand that. So our healer got it first, and then like a pug got it next, and then our other Ellie chamois got them the next time, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these boots. You know, people got them that deserved it. It was fine. You know, it was just kind of a running joke that I couldn't get these boots. So last night they dropped Thunderforged.
Nice.
And I got them. No one else even rolled.
That's good, man.
They were
and you're in a 25-man team, so you're almost always rolling against somebody, you know?
Yeah, and it's fine. We've got, you know, pretty loose, everyone understands our loot rolls, and the other guys could have rolled on it, but they already had the 522s, so they decided not to because they knew I was running with the LFR stuff. Yeah, nice. So thank you, Booning and Lovely Hooves, for not rolling against the Thunderforged boots got last night.
Yes,
I'm excited about that. I finally got my boots. So.
But
yay.
Yeah, man, it's been a good couple weeks, man. I haven't been doing LFR as much. I think I'm scaling back on the LFR stuff only because I got my 4-piece on my priest already, and I'm not quite caught up on some of the I guess the legendary type stuff. So to go in there right now, I'm not going to get any upgrades on gear. I'm just going to get Valor, and I'm getting Valor faster with the heroic scenarios and stuff like that. So I'm kind of losing interest in going into LFR. How about you? Have you been doing your Tuesday stuff or what?
Yeah, I'm doing Tuesdays. Thing is, okay, now I always go on Tuesdays, and I put like a group together. You know, just loosely, just invite people who want to go. And last night, I've been house sitting for my parents and my brothers and stuff. There's 5 dogs that I'm watching, and one of those is a puppy.
Okay.
So last night before LFR, the puppy chewed through the HDMI cable.
No.
Yeah, I just totally destroyed it. So, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So I sent Copperbolt a text message, and she agreed to put the group together.
Okay.
Awesome. Even though I had planned it, she did the work to put the group together.
Okay.
And I got there on time.
So you made it. You went out and bought a cable or what?
Yeah, I got there, but I didn't get there in time to really put the group together.
Okay.
And the thing is, something weird. I think it was us recording something a couple weeks ago that made it so I couldn't do it a couple weeks ago as well. So Copperbolt put that group together. So even though I'm planning these groups, she's been like making the teams.
So are you going to be available next week, or
I'm going to be there next week? But I would have said that yesterday.
Right,
too.
You never know.
And then I look down and there's a puppy like with the cable coming out of his mouth going. Oh, I wanted to wring its neck. So thank you, Copperbolt. You're amazing.
How is the Salad Senate doing? How's your raid team doing? You guys, because you realize our teams are kind of like neck and neck. We're kind of close in progression.
Well, you're always a little bit further along than us, just the tiniest bit, because you're casual and you do 10-mans. We're 25-mans. So
wait a minute. What do you mean by casual?
It's a little bit harder for us.
We're kind of hardcore. I mean, we're not hardcore like we only raid once a week, but I wouldn't call us casual. I mean, don't be coming after my team like that.
No, because you're running a 10-man, not a 25.
So what's your point?
I'm joking, but we run a 25, and so you guys got Tordos down.
She's not joking.
No, you're casual.
Oh, boo. So you
Dude,
guys,
you should be running 25s. Thunder Force
when the
drops
flex
on
rating
every
thing comes up, maybe we'll do a little something on the side. We can do a little more action, but we'll get into that at some other time.
Okay.
But
so what was I talking about?
Your team.
Yes,
your casual team.
Tordos. We actually worked on Tordos about half an hour.
Okay.
Last night, and you just shooting people in the air all the time. Now I'm a chamois. I can still do my damage from in the air. Yeah. So I get up to the top and I blow like a damage cooldown.
Okay.
I've got a few things, including like a lock and gift in the Naru, and that's not really a damage cooldown, but it's a heal that'll help me for when I land on the ground.
Okay.
And shamanistic rage. So I don't die a lot, but a lot of people do. On that fight. So we're working on Tordos.
Okay, cool.
But the other bosses aren't really giving us much of a problem before
that. I know you guys, did you guys like one-shot Horadon or something? Like your first night in there?
We two-shot Horadon.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man, because we spent a little bit of time on that boss.
That's the only time we've ever two-shot Horadon,
though. So it's not happening anymore? You guys are like...
Oh, no, I guess we three-shot him last night.
Okay, that's not bad.
And then, oh my gosh, so Jinrock, everyone, easy, right? One-shot Jinrock.
Sure.
We get in, and the very first thing that happens is those big, like, electric bubble ball things that's so easy. All you do is kite it out of the group.
Sure.
It hit me right in the face last night in the middle of the pool.
Were you tunneling? You were tunneling.
I was tunneling.
Oh.
No, I know what it was. It was my job to pop heroism, and it's also my job to yell, the heroism like yell that goes along with that.
Wait, you yell too?
Yeah.
Give me a sample.
I pop heroism and I go, hero!
You do that every time?
Hero! Yeah, I do it every time. It's my job.
Nice.
But it just happened to go where I had to click the button, yell hero, and then get hit in the face.
I'm going to talk to my shaman Zepeto and see if I can have him do that on our next raid. Hero!
You can
I'll talk to him.
Do a little sounder. Hero!
That's awesome.
Actually, the reason I do that is because in my old guild on the Grand Insidious, the healer there would always do that.
Okay.
So
actually, I got 2 shamans, so I can have them both do it.
Yeah. Well, Tim used to do it, and so I don't know. I just think of him every time.
That's cool.
So if you're listening, I picked it up.
That's awesome.
But have you seen any of the 5.4 stuff?
I have not. It's been kind of busy, so I've heard some stuff, kind of spoilery kind of stuff. but I have not seen it with my own eyes yet. So.
Well, MMO Champions got all that Dynamine stuff.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I went there today, and I looked. The very first thing I saw was a picture of the end boss of 5.4, and I almost wish I hadn't looked because that was a huge spoiler. Does
this particular thing look different than you expected, or what?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was very noticeable.
Okay.
Like what was going on.
Well, and you're really into the lore and stuff, so I mean, this is real stuff, you know? Okay.
Yeah, it was a lore thing. It wasn't just a normal picture. There was something going on, and I immediately just knew what it was. Like, I don't know how I would have avoided it though.
I'm gonna have to go look.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay.
I recommend it. But I also saw the tier sets.
Okay.
And not all of them are out, but the Hunter set is out, not the shoulders, but the rest of it. And Solar Flare posted on the Blizzard forums, I don't know, today, yesterday, or something, and he is unhappy about the new Hunter tier.
Was he ranting, or what's the deal? Did he go on there?
I wouldn't call it a rant.
Okay.
I would call it a very well thought out explanation about why he is so disappointed in the recent Hunter tiers.
Okay.
And I was going to go tonight and make a comment. The only thing that's going to make Solar happy is some green tights. Give him some green tights, a little Robin Hood hat with a feather on it, and he'll be happy forever. And he'll never post another rant. It wasn't a rant. It wasn't. And it wasn't super negative either.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He said some very nice things as well. And he was just like, hunters don't want to look like robots going through the woods.
Hey, you know what? That's good. Speaking of Solar, real quick, man, we're going to miss you. If you're listening to the show, we're going to miss you on the show, man, on the Convert to Raid. So good luck, man. Hey, it's such is life. But we'll miss you, definitely.
Well, he's still around.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll
Twitter
see you
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff.
All right. So now we have something extra special for you guys tonight. Mr. Stinky Mage Pants, King of Asparagus, has graced us with an interview. And it turned out pretty good, if I do so say so myself. It was a
lot of fun talking to him. You guys are going to really enjoy the interview. It's a little bit longer. So get comfortable in your seat, in your car, wherever you're listening to the show or watching it.
Put your robes on.
Yes, get your robe on. But it was a good interview, man. Koltrane, man, he's good people. So you guys are going to really enjoy this.
And then after Koltrane, we will have Red on to tell us about some guild events.
Awesome.
So here we go. Guys, get set. And here's Koltrane.
Mage! It's Pooh! Mages assemble!
Koltrane be hitting it. Some say it's just 2 buttons. Koltrane be critting with it. Them haters don't know nothing. He's bringing that crazy deeps every time it shows. What's behind that fortune cookie? Only Koltrane knows. He keeps it funky fresh when he's in that robe. Boss says I've been blinking like he's got a strobe light. Don't fight it, don't smite it, don't try to hide it. His power, his genius, it makes your mind crit without it. Standing in poo, you must not be hearing words of wisdom flowing. You need some mind searing. When the Colt says what, you know you got a problem. You better find that ring. Gonna call you Gollum. Mage power, you know you want it. Mage power, it just takes over you. Mage power, if you got it, just flaunt it. Just listen and don't stand in the pole. Mage power, you know you want it. Mage power, it just takes over you. Mage power, if you got it, just flaunt it. Just listen and don't stand in the pole. Mage power, you know you want it. Mage power, it just takes over you. Mage power, if you got it, just flaunt it. Just listen and don't stand in the pole. Some would cringe. Is he on his lock? Don't hear them complaining when they popping rocks on the brink of death. Yum, these cookies good. Did you stay up poo like you know you should? Some dare say mages lack utility. Those have never seen the Koltrane's fair. Some say mages scared using visibility. Colt be like, hello, I didn't see you there. Mage power, you know you want it. Mage power, it just takes over you. Mage power, if you got it, just flaunt it. Just listen and don't stand in the
Oh!
Mage power, you know you want it. Mage power, it just takes over you. Mage power, if you got it, just flaunt it. Just listen and don't stand in the
Oh!
Mage power, you know you want it. Mage power, it just takes over you. Mage power, if you got it, just flaunt it. Just listen and don't stand in the
Oh! Stay classy.
All right, we got Koltrane, the Raging Mage. This guy is one of the founders of the Convert to Raid Guild. He's a host on the Convert to Raid podcast. Thanks for taking the time out, brother, man. Thanks for coming on the show, dude. We're glad to have you, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be a part of the Converted.
Yes, man.
Stop. Bellstickle, I'm not ready.
Oh, what's up? Wait.
I'm totally not ready.
No,
just wait a minute.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay, I just gotta do a few things here.
Oh dear.
Here we go. Now I'm dressed. Get the. Oh, that's better.
That's awesome.
Here we go. And then, of course.
Yes, I think we're ready now.
Oh my God.
Are you ready now, Sal?
Oh my gosh,
Excuse
that's
me?
awesome.
Are you ready now?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
Wow.
You look
Oh,
ready.
I'm definitely ready.
Well, here. Let me at least. Now my robe is in the cleaners right now. All right, it gets a lot of use. So here we'll go with a little bit of this.
Yes.
Oh.
A little bit of this.
Oh, it's got this.
There we go.
Hello.
Yes.
Welcome to Convert to Underpants. I'll be brief. If you'll excuse me. No, but that's awesome, guys. That's awesome.
I like it, man. I like it.
We thought we would have our robes prepared.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
That is mine is literally in the cleaners right now, but I appreciate it very much.
I thought a man of Koltrane stature would have a couple robes handy.
Well, I have several, and I'm actually sponsored, but I gotta take it easy at least once in a while.
That's awesome. Well, hey, listen, man, let's get right into it. We got some questions from some of the listeners of the show and from people from the guild, as well as we have some questions of our own. So let's get right into it. The first one I'm going to ask you is give me some background on who Koltrane is, like the Batman Begins Koltrane style, like the origin story. Can you kind of give us some history as to what's going on with Koltrane and where he came from and all that other good stuff?
Well, it's a long story involving women. No, it started off like I'm a big jazz guy. I love jazz, play trombone, and did that all like since I was a kid. Really into jazz, really into that whole scene. And so I started playing MMOs, and I wanted to get the name Koltrane. I'm a big fan of John Koltrane. But Koltrane was taken.
Took it?
Yes, it was taken. So I'm like, well, what if I switched the C with a K? And that's pretty much how Koltrane came to be, was I couldn't get the actual name that I wanted. So that's pretty much it. But I started playing. I was big MMO junkie, back from the days of like Ultima Online, and then in through EverQuest, and Dark Age of Camelot, Star Wars Galaxies, like the whole gambit. I've been playing MMOs forever, and of course World of Warcraft. So started off in vanilla. I was actually in the alpha of World of Warcraft quite a few years ago. This was back when there weren't any hunters. And mages could cast Fireball from Invis. So you could be completely invisible.
Oh, nice.
And cast, and you could just destroy everybody. And but it was great. So I've seen a lot of changes throughout the game, from alpha to beta, and then obviously to where we are now. But it's been a great ride, man. It's been amazing.
That's awesome. That's good stuff.
Well, I'd like to know, what are you doing when you're not playing WoW or hanging out with Lady Train?
Yeah, right. You hear that, honey? I am working, unfortunately. I pretty much work. I work around 9:30ish in the morning till 7 at night, and then I got about an hour commute home. So I get home around 8, and that's Monday through Friday. So what I do is I do movie trailers or previews. I'm a trailer editor.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So I'm one of the guys that pretty much gives away everything in the entire movie before you see it.
You don't have to watch it now.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much me. Like when you're watching the trailers and you're like, "Oh my God, is this thing over with yet? Let's get to the movie." That's my bad. That's pretty much my fault. So no, but it's fun. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna say, someone like you has pretty much told me the entire story of Superman that I don't actually think I need to go watch it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Now, is someone
Like, wow, that's
when
everything.
you're doing a preview cut, like, is someone saying, "Hey, this is the scenes. These are the only scenes you can use for the movie," or is it like you kind of have like just you can kind of do whatever you want as far as what you want to show? Like, I'm just curious about that part of it.
Sure. It kind of depends on the director, believe it or not.
Okay.
Some like really high-profile movies, like big movies, they'll only send you certain scenes or certain plot points and all that stuff. Like meaning they want to hide. There's a good chunk of stuff that they want to hide that they don't want to reveal in the trailer. But the majority of films, we get like a rough cut of the movie, which is usually at about 3, sometimes 4 hours in length. So it's like the first cut. So which is why you'll see like a certain scene or a joke in a trailer that doesn't end up in the final movie. Right, because we get just a rough cut of the movie, and we usually get it about 6 months to a year in advance, depending on the project. So as an editor, basically, we get the movie in, I watch the movie, and then I kind of go through and they call it breaking down. Basically, I pull like every like head turn or like great line of dialogue where, somebody says like, "My God," like, okay, well, that's going to be a good line. Or, you know what I mean? So I kind of pull all that stuff together, and then I work with a producer and a screenwriter. And they write trailer copy. This is the stuff that's like in a world and one man, that kind of stuff. And then I work with the writer and the producer. And as an editor, I have the freedom to use pretty much whatever music I want. There's certain bands like, the Rolling Stones, that's going to cost like millions of dollars. Like there's certain, because you have to license all this music. So, so all three of us kind of work together. We cut the trailer and we send it out to the studio. And once the studio being like 20th Century Fox or DreamWorks or that kind of thing. And they watch the trailer, and they say, all right, we like this, but we don't like this. Let's change this or that. And so when we send it out, that's version 1. And they make their changes, and then we do those changes, and we send it out, and then it's version 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. And some of these trailers get up to like version 60 and 70.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into movie trailers that really nobody has any idea. All the craziness and late nights and all the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes into a little 2-minute and 30-second piece. So
and then you have like trailer 1, trailer 2, teasers, all that.
That's
stuff.
right.
So, yeah,
that's
cool.
right.
That's
yeah, exactly. So
awesome.
it's that's good. And then the TV spots. Those are the 30-second commercials you'll see on the TV. Cool. So yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. So yeah, when I'm not playing WoW, hobbies are the podcast. This is something I love to do. I've kind of wanted to do radio since I was a kid, and podcasting in a weird way. It's kind of like radio. You're talking, you'll be able to get stuff out to the audience, and it's great. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fantastic, man. Good stuff. Now, going back to the game itself, if you were like a dev at Blizzard, or you had a chance to make a significant change in the game, what do you see right now that Blizzard's not doing with the game that you'd like to see changed? Something different that's just not being done that would be a great add to the game. Is there anything you can think of?
Well, one thing that's been kind of getting to me lately is these LFR queues, in particular for DPS.
Yeah.
When I log in, I have a late night, right? So I tend to get on at like 10:30 at night and 11 o'clock at night. And it's an hour queue. It's about 56 minutes for a DPS, for that queue.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's a long time. So you figure you get on at 11, that's a 56-minute queue. It's now midnight. And then you finally get in, and then it's at least another hour, or so. I mean, hopefully if everything goes well. So that's a good chunk of time. That's 2 to 3 hours for just trying to work on one little wing of LFR. So I don't know if they could find a way that there was more jump in and out content. I know scenarios kind of provide that, but a way to maximize and gear your character so you feel like you're accomplishing something. But you can do it quick. You can just get in and get out, like a first-person shooter. Yeah. You get in there, you shoot up a whole bunch of people, you got the scoreboard at the end, and you feel good. You've accomplished something. You got your tally. You got your fix. Yeah. And I feel with WoW, it's like you got to set aside a few hours. It's not a real easy jump in and out type game. You know what I mean? You have to set aside a big chunk of time to do it. So I guess that'd be it. Just quicker content, or somehow find some way to reduce these LFR queues for DPS, because holy cow, it takes a while.
Well, I found a way to reduce the LFR queues. Just hiring tanks and healers.
Right.
Bribing them to come
Absolutely.
with me.
I never wait more. I'm a healer. I never wait more than like 5 to 10 minutes tops.
See, that's not cool. All right, you healers, because you healers are the bottleneck. You know what I mean? Because tanks,
Yeah.
they only need 2 tanks, but you need 6 healers.
Yeah.
So healers are always the bottleneck. You know what I mean?
Those healers.
I
I
know.
love
Those,
grabbing Belschnickel.
Huh?
I love grabbing you, Belschnickel.
Hey, man.
And getting you in there.
I'm always ready to get in there and do some stuff. You know.
so you realize that you're being used for your...
Yeah, I
your-
know. I know half the people that I know. I have my in-game friends. Half of them are just using me for my heals. It's cool.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I understand that. You know, hey, what's going on? Hey, Belcher,
Hey,
what are you
buddy,
doing?
come on. What's
Wanna
going
see
on?
What's up for LFR?
Right, exactly. We're just hanging out. Why not come join us? You know, hello. Absolutely.
awesome.
How about you guys, though? I'm curious. What would you guys want changed?
Wow. That's a good question. No, I'm thinking like for making it easier to pick up alts, which is what they're doing right now with kind of adding in the reduced XP and stuff like that. But up until like a week ago, I hadn't touched my alt, my 85 alt. I just don't have the time. I mean, I have, I work full time and other stuff, so I had time to kind of get one character going, my priest. But up until now, I've had no time to kind of work on that alt. So I think it'd be kind of cool to kind of keep adding things to just make the game a little bit alt friendlier, and they're working on that. It's getting better. But that's probably one of the biggest things for me. And like you said, getting in and out for stuff like Diablo or StarCraft or the other games, you can kind of play them for 20 minutes and stop.
Right.
And for a while, unless you have at least an hour, you feel like you're not getting anything done. So I mean, like you said, it's making the game alt friendlier and just maybe friendlier for people who don't have hours and hours to play would be good.
I wonder if more account bound items would that solve that? Do you think? Like even like okay, this is gonna completely controversial, but like account bound loot. Like how there's always loot that drops. Like oh, this would be great for my shaman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, like in Diablo, they have like the bank. Like the guild cache thing
Right.
that you can, not the guild cache, but the bank that you can kind of share in between all your tunes.
Right.
That'd be sweet.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Belle, what do you think? Or Summer Sale?
Oh, I've been pushing for heroic scenarios since Mist came out. I'm
That's
a big
awesome.
fan of scenarios because I'm DPS. I can heal. I've got a good healing spec. I'm decent at it. I hate doing it. So whenever I go into a heroic dungeon or something, I click on heals and I just bleed for 40 minutes or whatever it takes.
Right.
But now we got the heroic ones. I'm really happy. And now Belschnickel says that we have more time to work on our alts, but to me it's more time. I'm happy for more time to go play Neverwinter. So I'm good for
What's
that.
that?
Right.
Like a different game?
It's a new MMO.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's in beta right now.
Okay.
But you can buy stuff and
Yeah, they're calling it beta. I think it's an excuse that if there's ever a problem, we can say, well, it's beta.
yeah.
It's really, that's
Yeah.
all
It's
it
beta
is.
for like 10 years, yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, something real quick I heard on another show I was listening to earlier was, I heard it on the Realm Maintenance, but they were interviewing a different podcast. But they were talking about if you have a certain class, let's say you have a priest that's Horde, 90 Horde, that you should be able to get a priest on an Alliance side at level at least 55 or something like that. That would kind of just make it faster to get there because you already have a max level of that particular class. That would be nice.
That's interesting. The only argument against that, I would say, is that one of the strengths of WoW is that the game is so much different for the Horde and the Alliance. It's a completely different story. There's different parts of the zone. There's different quest hubs. I found that, I started out as Alliance in the game. I played a gnome. That's what I started out as. And, and then I played that to 60 in vanilla. And then I switched to Horde and I leveled up as Horde. And I was like, wow, this is kind of like a brand new game. It's kind of a brand new experience. So I agree with you. Like that would be great as far as ease, but you're also missing out on a ton of content that you might not have seen, on the other faction.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
And it is so fast to level right now.
That's true. I mean, you're right with heirlooms and everything. I mean, you're just blowing through this stuff anyway. You know what I mean? Most people. Yeah. So yeah, you know what? Maybe what I'm saying is complete, bosh because you do just blow through these zones.
And also
like 10
assuming that
minutes.
people actually read. I don't read quests. I haven't read quests in a long time.
I do.
Right.
For me,
I
the
do.
story, for me personally, like I just kind of like I want to get to 90. I want to raid. That's all I want to do. So, but it's a good point. I mean, there's a lot. They put a lot of time into creating the content. So, so cool.
Okay, well, Koltrane, you're part of Convert to Raid. Obviously, we're big fans. They give you these amazing segments. We really enjoy them. And can you, peel back the curtain and tell us how that works? Like, what do you do to make those segments so awesome?
Sure. Well, Zug and I, we talk a lot. Obviously, during the show, probably too much. And off the show, we're basically, every week, we're coming up with new ideas for boss intros, for different kind of fun segments. and what to do. So basically what we do is we kind of come up with an idea, we kind of talk about it via email or over the phone, and then we kind of start scripting something together. He'll either start out with a script or I'll start out with a script. You know, we'll do that Google Doc thing and we'll kind of revise it and change it as we go. And then we'll just record the voices. Zug has an amazing talent of being able to do so many different voices. So he does a lot of the voice stuff. I'll do some voices and some narration stuff. Back in the day of CTR, more in Cataclysm, I did a majority of the editing. I had a lot more time with work. My work kind of schedule kind of changed and things got crazy. So Zug actually is doing a brunt of the editing now. But I'm still doing it. Like right now I'm working on this like this gnome rap song.
Oh.
It's like nice. Yeah, we might, that might be premiering soon. The OG, the original gnomes might be making a reappearance soon. So they're kind of welcoming the CTR community to Aerie Peak. So I'm currently working on a rap song. So there's certain things that kind of will split off, but we work together on it. He'll do a lot of the editing. He'll send me V1. I'll look at it. We'll make some changes, some tweaks, or sometimes we'll switch off where I'll cut a section, he'll cut a section. But it is a huge benefit working with somebody like Pat, because he's got a lot of experience in this field and he knows what he's doing, which is great. And for me, from a trailer editing background, I have editing stuff that I can do as well, and so I kind of bring that to it as well. So. Yeah, pretty much talk most of the week, script it out, get it together, and then present it for the show. And it's all last minute, too. Like, this sounds very organized, but it's very last minute. None of this
stuff comes that way, though, too,
Well, that's true. That's true. Like the Titan promo thing.
Oh, that was
we were just talking about that one last night.
Epic, man.
Yeah, thanks, awesome. Man. Thanks. Yeah, I was up till 3:30 in the morning cutting that thing the night before. So it was crazy, but it's just fun. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff is a lot of fun to do and something we definitely want to continue and do more of in the future.
I was in the car listening to that, and my wife was next to me, and I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, honey, you have to listen to this. And she's like, what's Titan? And she's just like, but she was blown away. I'm like, that is awesome stuff. That was really good. That's
great. Yeah, this guy Dan, he can do this great like woohoo like voice thing. So that's not at all how he talks. And so he did the Titan your boots. So it was fun to do. It was a lot of fun to do for sure.
That's awesome. Well, listen, you guys created a mega guild. Like, I mean, we've reached that point. Did you guys? When you guys thought of the idea, what did you guys expect? Like, did you think you would get like this? Like, the guild's huge. I mean, and it's growing every day. Like, is there a limit?
Right. I got to tell you, it's been incredible. I am speechless about the entire thing. I mean, when this thing first started, we were talking about it. We're like, okay, well, how many do you think we'll get? And I thought, well, maybe we'll get like 40. Like, maybe we'll get like 40 members. Like, maybe. And if we're lucky, maybe like 100 or 200. Like, honestly, like I had no idea.
You thought it'd be like just one
oh, for sure. Oh, without a doubt. And I thought like we'd cap out at like 300 members, or like 400 would be like the most I could ever dream of. You know what I mean? And I was like just in shock when all these applications started coming in, and we made the big announcement. I was like, whoa! And I mean, we had to play catch up real fast because we thought this thing was going to be like a slow burn. And then all of a sudden it's like in fuego. And we were like, oh my gosh, we got to get this ball rolling. Like, so we really appreciate the patience of all the members, especially at the beginning, because we had a lot of catch-up work to do to get a guild this organized and at this size. And I got to say, man, another thing to Pat, since he's now taken over as GM, it's been incredible as far as there's like the officer corps, there's different committees set up, everything is organized and where it needs to be, event planners, and everything is really rocking and rolling now, for a guild this size. Like, we just created our 7th sub-guild, which is incredible. And this is also after we noticed there were some inactive accounts, and we kind of... So if some of you guys out there, if you notice that your character is no longer in the guild, go ahead and just hop into CTR LFO, and we can get you set back up. But still, even with the people the inactive accounts that we moved on, it's still 7 sub-guilds. Like, it's just an insane amount of people. But I never thought anything like this would even be possible. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so amazing. It's just incredible.
I guess signed up for a lot more work than you thought you were signing up for, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And, but on the same token, though, it's been that much better. Like, being able to talk with so many people and to hop in Mumble And again, I play really late, so I talk to a lot of Australians, which are the coolest people on the planet, by the way. So shout out to all you Aussies out there. But it's not, they're more than just a cool accent. They're like really cool and down to earth kind of people. But no, it's been amazing because everyone is so nice and so friendly and so helpful. And look, with any community, you're going to get a couple of people here and there. But what's interesting is those people stick out. And I think the reason for that is because the community is so great. You know what I mean? Like that's a statement to the members. You know, it's this community is not about the officers, it's not about the GM, it's not about all that stuff. It's about the members. The members are what make this an incredible organization, an incredible guild is the community. So it's all thanks to you guys.
Now, have you had any? I mean, you play. I'm sure when you play and stuff, you get to play with different members of the guild. Have you had any interactions of note that you can remember, that you can think of, like with just guildies that you can think of?
Well, there might have been one with Sal that I recall.
That was fun.
Yeah, what happened there? So I believe you guys were all going to troll a group, I think. Was that what it was? You were just going to try and wreak as much havoc? Right. Yeah,
and we just randomly queued up, and we just happened to get in the queue with you, just randomly. St. Jim looked over and said, "Hey, wait a minute, that's Koltrane's lock." Right. Yeah, like we weren't like grouped up or anything, and we came in to troll. Seriously, we're like, I don't know fights. You tell me fights. Right. I don't know dungeons. You know, and then like, oh damn, we better.
Right, Dad's here. Right, Dad showed up.
Right. What are the odds of you guys ending up in the same group, like randomly? You know, I mean, what are the odds of that happening? That's
know
crazy.
it was crazy because I was on Soul Train and I just like did a random queue and there they were. I was like, wait a minute, wait, what? Is that like the Sal? Like, what's going on? You know? So I hop in Mumble and start talking to him. I was like, what the heck? Like, it was so random.
It was like super late at night, too.
Yeah.
It was something like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, we're just like, what's up? Let's just troll some dungeons. Oh! And remember, we had a really, like, jerk tank that went in there.
Right.
And was, like, griping at you. And
griping at everybody.
Tried to... Yeah, and he was like, "That's not funny. You stop it." I'm like, "Come on!" Like I'm
he was doing the like uppercase, like "Let me tank" and like "I will pull" and "I will do this and that" and you know, it's a tank sometimes, guys. Little ego. I don't know. I'm not saying all tanks, but come on, guys. I mean, look, there's some great tanks out there, but yeah, no, he was an interesting fellow, but it was great. That was like the most random, crazy thing ever. But I'll tell you, for me, though, I just hopped into a Nalek group the other night, and proud to say I'm wearing my Mage blue, that all the mages were in the top for the DPS. There were like 6 or 7 of them. It was all blue at the top of the meters. That was just glorious to look at. And they were all CTR. It was like a CTR Nalek, and it was awesome. It was great.
That's awesome.
That happens if there's an AoE fight at all. It's always chamois blue right up top.
Right,
you know,
right.
Because Chamois got the Ellie Chamois have the AoE right now. Like it's broken. It's awesome. So I'm looking and like, like the top 4 people will be Chamois on any kind of AoE anything.
Right. Well, let me ask. I'm curious with you guys because we had Preach on the show today, and we were kind of talking a little bit about class balance. How are you guys feeling about class balance? Do you think a lot of these classes are they looking well as far as we can just start with DPS wise?
Take that one there, Sal, because you play DPS as your main.
You know, the ones that I see doing the most DPS from all the groups that I get into, I do a lot of groups. It's always monks, and if there's an enhanced chamois, he'll be at the top.
Right.
And sure, I've got a 25-man team, and sure we've got we've got a monk and enhanced chamois that really do a lot of deeps, but they're always close to the top.
Warlocks
and Pallies too,
aren't they? I mean, the Warlock on my team is killing it.
Right.
I mean, he's just crushing the meters.
Yeah, and it's great too that Warlocks, they buff destruction. That's a really fun spec, but it just wasn't viable in the past, and now it is. And you saw a huge influx, at least I saw for a while, of Warlocks. But Bell, like with healers too. I mean, how are the healers looking these days?
I was holy for a long time, and I resisted the switch to discipline, even though everybody was like, "Oh, you should go disc. It's so much better."
Let's go disc.
And I went holy from Wrath on, and I just switched to disc about 3 weeks ago, and it is crazy powerful.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah, and it's actually a lot of fun because, you know, with holy and stuff, you're reactive healing. You know, with discipline, you're always doing something. You're either doing like atonement, excuse me, atonement, or just direct healing. So you kind of get to mix it up a little bit. So I feel like I'm always doing something with discipline. I'm either attacking the boss or direct healing, and I like the mitigation part of it. It's kind of cool. It's different. At first, it was kind of freaking out because, you know, you're used to seeing the bars go down and they come back up when you heal them. With the discipline, like you do something and the bars don't really change. They're still
awesome.
there. You're like, okay, come on, somebody heal them up. You know,
right?
So it's cool. It's nice, and it's really the raid utility for it's really good. The team's doing well. So. I like it. I'm glad I switched, and I kind of feel bad that I didn't switch earlier because it's really good. Discipline is in a good spot right now, even though they nerfed it a little bit, but it's still doing really good.
It's interesting because, like, with Holy, you were saying forgive me, Sal. Holy, you were saying is more reactive healing. It sounds like Disc is more preemptive healing.
Yeah, like you have to really know the fights. You're keeping an eye on DBM and stuff like that just to kind of get the heals out or the mitigation out before the damage comes in.
That's awesome.
So it's a totally different. You got to like kind of change gears a little bit, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's kind of reinvigorated me a little bit with the healing. So I like it, and so I have Holy and Disc now. I'd run them both, but I've been pretty much just doing Disc now because I can do a little DPS on the side, and that helps with getting bosses down. So
it's awesome.
I was just going to ask, how do you think that compares to other healers?
You asking me or Colt?
Oh, you, Bill.
Oh well, on our team we have myself, we have a shaman, and we have a monk healer. Both of them are usually pretty close in what they're doing, their healing throughput. They offer so much raid utility in different ways. You know, because the shaman can do their mist weaving and all that. Not the shaman, I'm sorry, the monk. So they can kind of add some DPS as well. But I mean, that combination we have is great. I know paladins are doing really well right now too. Paladins, like whenever I go into LFR, there's always a paladin at the top. You know, the paladin just crushing the meters. So I know they're in a good spot. I guess shaman are one of the ones that needs a little bit more attention now from what I've been hearing on other shows. Just in terms of their healing and stuff like that. But it's like anything, it's cyclical. You know, I remember back in I think Firelands, the druids were doing really well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then so it's in priests were kind of at the bottom. So it's all cyclical. You know, it'll change and bounce back. But I think the healing classes right now are pretty well balanced. I think discipline priests are a little bit OP. I think if I had to say, I think they're just kind of a little bit too strong. But,
well, don't say that too loud.
I'm not complaining. I like it.
Right. That's good.
Maybe you're just OP.
Well, you know.
That's right.
I don't want to say that.
Maybe it's,
I do have
maybe it's the magic
baby.
bell fingers.
That's right.
Yes.
A little tickle from the bell schnickel. Hey. That's right.
Oh, I can't believe Koltrane just said that.
Sorry, real, man. It's all good.
That's right.
It's all good.
That's right.
Okay, let's talk BlizzCon. You're going to BlizzCon, right, Colt?
Yes. Really looking forward to BlizzCon. It's going to be great. And you guys are too.
Yes. Oh, we're both going for sure.
It's awesome.
For sure.
I saw.
But you know, it's not a big deal to us.
I saw your tweet.
A tweet? Which one?
Where it was like from your iPhone. It was like your phone. And it was like, you're going to BlizzCon.
Yeah, because
Bill Stigl texted me. I'm like,
where are you in the queue? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like 2,000 or whatever. And she's like, I'm like 5,000. So I'm here with my brother, and we're counting down. And we're just like, it was intense. You know what I mean? Because I never done this before. And when we got the tickets, wow. I had the tickets. You know, I got 4. And I texted Sal. I'm like, hey, I'm like, where are you in the queue? And she's like 3,000 or whatever. I don't know what you said, but I could just tell by the writing on the text that she was just down, you know.
Right.
And I was like, you know, we had already talked about it beforehand that if she got them, then you know I'd get one and vice versa. Sure. So once I saw that, I was like, I got the tickets. I was like, you're going to BlizzCon, and she was like, ah, you know, it was awesome.
That's so great. That's awesome. So is this your guys' first BlizzCon?
Yeah. For me it is. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I've been to about 3, I think.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. BlizzCon is incredible. You'd think one company can put on an entire con, and there's so much to do and so much to see and so many people to meet. It's incredible. It's a really really good time. It smells like BO, and hair gel, but other than that, it's like amazing.
I'll just put some Vicks vapor rub on my nose or something like that, so I can get the smell or something.
That's right. It's that in a commercial for lens crafters. Like that's pretty much what it looks like as well. But man, it's a great time. It's going to be a blast.
Contacts when I go then.
Right. No, you won't fit in actually. If you wear your contacts, you won't fit in. They'll be like, "Who's that guy? He looks weird. What's wrong with that guy?"
Wear your glasses.
Well,
Right.
I've heard rumors that CTR, the guild's going to have a little bit of BlizzCon party.
Yes.
You know anything about that?
We are in the process of, gosh, I'm going to do something about these little earbuds because this is a mess. I apologize.
Hey, man, it's fine.
They keep falling out. So, yes, CTR, we're currently, there is so much going on, like, behind the scenes right now with CTR. It's incredible. Like, there are so many things that we have planned, so many things that we're actively working on all the time that it's just great. We are going to have a CTR get-together. At BlizzCon, of course, and I can reveal that we're also going to have a shirt, a Guild CTR shirt that's going to be available. Yeah, so and it's very colorful, very cool looking that you'll be able to have on, so you can represent CTR and you know what? It's actually going to might help you find each other. You know what I mean?
There he is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we're actively working on that, and it's great. We got a lot of stuff planned. It was so funny. I talked to Zug before I got on. I'm like, so Zug, what can I tell him? He's like, don't say this. I'm like, come on. You know, and he's like, no. I'm like, come on. So there's a lot of stuff in the works. I don't mean to be enigmatic. I apologize. But I can tell you that we're going to have some guild shirts ready for CTR. We've got a lot of other great stuff planned for BlizzCon. And in fact, I'm actually might have to do some scouting. That it might involve a little boozle to find a place for maybe this kind of get-together. So I'm going to head down to Orange County and do some scouting with some guildies, and just pretty much an excuse to drink heavily.
Scouting.
And that's, yeah, we'll call it scouting, but it's really just booze.
So what I should do right now is I should kind of go on Twitter and say Koltrane reveals all about BlizzCon on the
right, exactly. Yeah, that'll go over real well. I appreciate that.
Koltrane tells all.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Hey, is there anything that you've never ever said on the show or on your guys' show that the people of CTR don't know about you? Like, can you give us something that you've never said? You know, nothing obviously too personal, but just something that you've never talked about or you've never said about yourself.
Believe it or not, I'm kind of quiet in real life. I'm not like running around going, what? You know, and like just going crazy. Like, that's not me. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's me. It's a definite part of me. But I'm pretty quiet guy. Like, you know, when I hop on Mumble at night, everyone's like, Koltrane, is this you? I'm like, yeah, it's me. You know, I'm just chilling. Just doing my thing. You know, but I'm pretty open about stuff. You know what I mean? I'm pretty much what you see is kind of what you get, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. No, yeah. But no, I got to tell you, man, I'm just floored by the success of the show, of the community of CTR, of all the people that I've met and that I continue to meet. I'm just completely floored by it, and it's just it's an incredible community, and like I said earlier, it's all because of you guys. So, and you know, and this the Converted, like this is amazing. It's a live video show for the guild, like that's unbelievable. When you guys first sent out like this is what we're thinking of doing, I was just like blown away. I was just floored by it. I was like, this is something special. So just amazing stuff.
Well, and I remember we were talking about it because I think you mentioned it on the show, and we're like, Koltrane thinks it's an awesome idea. Like, we were just fired up, you know. You know, thank you for supporting us from the beginning. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
You know, it's
absolutely. I mean, I have cats. I have cats. Mr. Magoops, he's always on the case. He leaves me clues in the litter box. We were talking about before the show. I grew up with dogs, so I was like a dog guy, but. You know, with the lady trade, and you know, you kind of inherit cats. I mean, not always, but you know what I'm saying. It's, you know, marriage is about compromise, so that's kind of how it went down. So,
well, tell you what, the most important questions are coming now because we have some questions from our listeners.
Oh, great!
Sent them in specifically for you, and I think Belschnickel, you have the first one.
I do have the first one. First one's from Rex. He asks, why do you play in the shadows on your mage or lock when you could be a manly man and battle on the front lines with your Frost DK?
Right. That's a very good point. Man, Frost DK is so much fun. I've kind of always been kind of a ranged guy, you know, whether it's like, you know, I've just like, I think there's certain people tend to play melee and certain people tend to play ranged. And I've kind of always been ranged. But I got to tell you, melee is so much fun. Being right up in there, staring at boss crotch. It's just great. It's really a good time. So, no, I've kind of always been a range guy. My first class in WoW was a mage. And, my gosh, switched from Mage to Warlock in Burning Crusade, because they might have been a little OP in Burning Crusade. And went from that to a Druid, Resto Druid, heals all throughout Wrath. Healing Lich King when it was progression was incredible, by the way. That's still one of my favorite fights. And then in Cataclysm, switched to the Mage and stuck with it through Mist. So I've kind of always been just like a ranged guy. But I have a lot of respect for you, Melee. Although, like fights like Tortos, all you got to do is stand there and do DPS. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, with these shells and turtles everywhere. You guys are just doing your thing. Like, it's just not fair.
Yeah, we're working on that fight right now. All right, guys.
It's a tough fight, man. I'm glad they slowed down the turtles, but that's a tough fight. That's not easy.
They don't seem so slow to me.
Yeah.
Oof. But okay. 8-bit crit wants to. No, we're not going to. Okay. Catherine. We're not. Catherine wants to know. Hi, I'm new. So wondering. Hi, I'm new. So wondering how the CTR podcast started, and she also wants to know what your favorite raid is.
Oh, great. Well, the whole thing got started years ago. Zug made a post. This was back when we were in AIE, actually. And he made a post on the forums that said, raiding podcast. And he made this post basically talking about this is what he wants to do. He wants to do a podcast that talks about raiding, and that's pretty much it. And it was in a forum, and then there were a ton of replies, like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. This is great. This is great. I mean, it got to be about 4 or 5 pages long.
Wow.
And Zug said, okay, I'm not sure if all of you can all be hosts, but I'll tell you what, we'll meet up next Thursday at 7 a.m., meet up in Ventrilo at that time. And and then we'll talk about it. So everybody meet up. And the day came, and the only people that showed up was myself, Solar Flare, and Aetheric, and that was it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just the 4 of us. There must have been 30 or 40 replies to this thing, but only like 3 people showed. And that's how the podcast started. Like, that's how it was. It was like, okay, well, I guess this is it. All right, let's do this. Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much how it started. It was like complete blind luck. And a lot of people have talked about chemistry and how we all kind of, how we all get along and that kind of thing. And that was just just dumb luck. You know what I mean? Just kind of how it worked out. It wasn't anything that was like a recruitment or anything like that. It was just we showed up. And that's kind of how it all went. Well, I'll tell you, though, when we met with Zug, I knew that this was the real deal because some of the sounders for like the scouting report and the war room had already kind of been cut together. And he talked about how it was going to be organized. We're going to have split up segments and this and that. And I knew then, okay, this is going to be a real thing. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. He seems serious about this. And this is something that I wanted to really get involved in. So we kind of joined it. I came up with this idea of what if we did like these boss intros? Like, what if we did like, like a WWE, like this summer, here we go, type boss intro. And he's like, yeah, let's give it a shot. And that ended up becoming a part of the show as well, which was great. So it's just been, and it's kind of, evolved and changed over the years. But yeah, that's pretty much how it all got started.
That's awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
What about your favorite raid?
Favorite raid, I know this is the little bandwagon, and I apologize for that, but I'd have to say Ulduar. And the reason I have to say Ulduar is that there were so many different environments in that one raid, and you had a lot of optional bosses. Like, you go to Freya, and it's like all like in the forest, and it's like ocean, or like, this forest green area, and then you go against Hodir, and it's all frost and snow, and then you fight the gnome guy, Mimiron, one of my favorite fights, and it's all this, you take this amazing mechanical train to this like gear city, and he's the guy that kind of built Ulduar, and I was just floored by the spectacle of it, and the size of it. Throne of Thunder, the devs have said we've tried to make it similar to Ulduar, but the only thing I think that they didn't quite do was change up the locales. I mean, they kind of did, but like really, you're in this big troll castle, and you're in there for a few fights, and then you drop down, and then you're in this cave for like a few fights. Like, you're in the cave for a while, and then you kind of go back up, and you're back in the troll castle again. Like, I almost liked it in Ulduar how the environment changed per fight. You know what I mean? It was kind of a different thing. So, and optional bosses were always great for raid teams. Some fights, your team, your makeup, you could do great on a particular fight. and others you couldn't. So you could kind of do it at your own pace in the order that you wanted until you were geared up enough. But this linear thing, it's interesting and it's cool, but they got to be real careful with balance because, like we saw in 10-man normal, everybody got stuck on the second boss, Horden. So,
yeah.
Hey, that's all right. Awesome. Next question is from Dyphon from CTR Emerus, and basically, I'm going to summarize. They were kind of talking about locks and mages, and really was there a difference? But the question was, egos aside, what do you feel is there really a difference between the two? I mean, obviously they have different mechanics, but what would you say is the biggest difference between a mage and a warlock, and why is it that big of a deal for people to be kind of going at it about it?
Right. It's a funny thing because, I talk about on the show that there's this rivalry, between mages and warlocks. And it kind of reminds me of like out here in Los Angeles, we've got the LA Lakers and the Clippers, right? So there's a rivalry between them. Like Lakers fans don't like Clippers fans and Clippers fans don't like Lakers fans. But I think the reason is that they're all in the same kind of family. Like they're in the same area. And I think mages and warlocks are that way. They're both cloth DPS. You know what I mean? They get the same gear. Yeah, same gear. It's all cloth DPS. They want the same attributes. They're looking for int. They're looking for hit. A couple things will change via spec, whether it's haste or crit or mastery, but they're kind of in that same family. And I think because of that, that generates that rivalry between the two classes. So I think that's where kind of it stems from. As far as playstyle goes, they're both range DPS. They are going to be somewhat similar. But I would say, I think warlocks kind of have a little bit more going on as far as what to worry about and what to keep track of. Now, me saying that means I'm now going to get more bat guano from mages in my mailbox. So I just completely screwed myself. But I just noticed from playing a lot too, especially if you're going affliction, you got to keep track of those dots. And in fact, not just keep track to make sure they're up. If you get a proc off like a weapon enchant or a trinket, then you need to reapply those dots to do effective DPS. As a mage, you kind of reapply your mage bomb, but it's not really something to look at. It's more of a mage is like a glass cannon. You know what I mean? You're kind of a turret, and you just kind of fire and forget. You know what I mean? You're hitting with these hard hitting nukes, and then you move on. Lock is a lot more dot based, a lot more slow ticking, and I think there's a little bit more going on. I think with the lock rotation than mage. They're both equally as fun, and but I don't know. I think there's a little bit more to worry about with the warlock, especially as far as add-ons go to keep track of everything than a mage.
Okay, awesome.
Well, Nazgul wants to know if you play any other games and what hobbies are you into?
I dabble in some other stuff. I'm actually kind of like, I've checked out Neverwinter. I think that's a great game. I dig the action combat of that. I saw a lot of that in Terra Online. Terra Online I thought was a phenomenal game. It just, like, the combat was amazing. Neverwinter is kind of that similar type of combat, that kind of active, as a tank, you actually raise your shield and you block. You actually have to dodge out of the way of incoming attacks. I think
like
that's
the dodging.
Great. Yeah, the dodging is great. That kind of action MMO type thing, I think is just fantastic versus like auto attack and that kind of thing. So I messed around with that. Of course, Star Wars, I was into that, for a while, and that kind of fell off a little bit. Free-to-play stuff is really taken over. The MechWarrior Online, that's a really fun game.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there. I really dig this kind of new free-to-play stuff. I think it's a great thing. Have you guys tried any of these Neverwinter or these free-to-play type games?
I haven't. As far as for me, like, I have X amount of hours to play, and per week, and it's pretty much just WoW. You know what I mean? For me, but what about? I think Sal's it. You kind of dibble dabble in a bunch of other things.
I play around with LOL. I play around with a little bit of Planet Side. I'm not really into the shooter stuff though, but I want to try it out. Neverwinter is something I'm into, but when WildStar comes out,
right?
I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, because I'm still gonna play WoW, but I'm really looking forward to WildStar.
Yeah, there's so much hype for that game.
Yeah.
WildStar's getting hyped. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be the second coming. You know what I mean? And that kind of worries me because that's how the hype was for Star Wars. It was like, oh my gosh, and it actually, the formula, it made sense. You got an MMO, you got a great story from BioWare, and it's Star Wars. Come on, it all makes sense.
You figured
you can't go wrong. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm a little nervous about WildStar because everywhere you look on Twitter, on the forums, everything's like, oh my gosh, this game is going to be incredible. Like, oh yeah, Neverwinter, yeah, that's great, but wait till WildStar. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing shakes out.
It looks beautiful. I kind of like the faction stuff. I really like how they're advertising it, and they're not being very nice about it. Like, they're really sarcastic, and I like the humor, and they're always cursing at each other in the trailers and stuff. And I'm like, this is going to be cool. So it better be good. I'll cry if it's not. I'm ready to throw my money at it.
I know, but like MMO players nowadays have such high demands when a new MMO comes out. You know what I mean? It's not just about it needs to have endgame. It needs to have PvP. It needs to have looking for dungeon. There's so much that there has to be a deep crafting system. There has to be an auction house. There's so much that's required on launch day now that there never was, you know, for any other MMO. I think it's the toughest market to really get into and to draw people away from World of Warcraft. It's the juggernaut. So, you know, it's a tough thing because one of the first questions is, are there raids? Is there PvP? You know, so I feel for all these MMO guys out there, man, because, man, it's not easy.
Pleasing everybody's hard. I mean, you know, you got your raiders, your questers, like you said. It's hard to get something for everybody in one game.
Right, and you know, Blizzard, even with Titan, you know, the recent reset, you know, I feel so bad. It's awful to hear that. It's also a good thing, you know, in a way, because if they're kind of resetting this thing, that let's go back to square one. Let's find out what we can do. I think if any game company knows the MMO market, it's Blizzard. So I think it's only going to be a good thing.
Was Titan originally supposed to be multi-platform? Was it already going to come out on the PlayStation and Xbox, or was it going to be a PC game only? I'm wondering if that was part of the reason for the change, or I don't know what their original plan was, but I'm wondering if it was going to be, if they want to kind of incorporate the next-gen platforms, and that's kind of why they're starting over. I don't. You know, could be.
I think that's a definite, like, maybe. I don't know for sure, but I think so. With Diablo 3 now being available on Xbox and PlayStation 3, it seems to be the future. You know what I mean? It seems to be where things are going, especially with the new next-gen consoles coming out. So I would assume so, yes, that Titan is going to be compatible, not just with PC, but with all the consoles as well. So.
Okay. Awesome. All right, next question is from Blaze. He has two questions. The first one, I think you might have mentioned it before, but I'll ask again. What race class was your first tune? Did you put all your talent points into all the trees? And at what level did you realize this was no good?
Right, exactly. I think we've all been there.
Done that.
Oh, yeah. We were all WoW noobs at one point. And you know what? We still are. You know what I mean? We literally still have no idea really what's going on. But I started off as a no mage, and I did it because it got 5% extra mana. It was like more intellect. It had 5% intellect, and I was like, okay, well, that looks good, so I'll play a gnome. So, you know, I had no idea what was going on, and that's the beauty of this game, you know, is that you have no clue what's going on. I think as players, we need to be patient. I know that's like the hardest thing in the world, but when you're in these lower level dungeons, all of us, you know, we're all in our heirlooms, and we just kind of want to blow through. And you're going to notice players in there that are warriors that are wearing cloth gear. And you might say to them, oh, lol, or I can't believe you're wearing cloth gear. But just keep in mind that they don't know. You know, they might not know. And at one point, you were like that too. So if we can, try to be patient with them. But, oh, yeah, I made all the mistakes of, you know, the talents. I had no idea what this was. I'm putting points in this and that, and I don't know what stats are. I mean... Well, yeah, it's a giant mess.
The internet wasn't as, the resources online weren't as developed. Like now you can go to 1 million sites and see what you're supposed to do. Back then you were kind of like, let's try this, you know? Yeah. See if this works.
Yeah, you're totally right. And in fact, some people miss that. Some people think that like, well, everything's just kind of handed to you now, and that exploration is a good thing. And I agree. But yeah, no, you're totally right. Like things were so different. I remember in vanilla, like there were no damage meters, really. There was no, like, you had no idea what was going on. You know, rotation-wise, I was in Molten Core. I was, like, raiding. And all I did was cast Frostbolt. That was it. That was it. And that's because I was just watching what other guys were doing, and that's all they were doing, too. Frostbolt. But yeah, that was it. And, you know, but back then, too, rotations were a lot simpler. There was a lot less going on with the game and game mechanics. And I think some people, they look back to the old days, and I think in a way they're kind of wearing rose-tinted glasses a little bit, saying, oh, this used to be so amazing and this and that, and classes were this and that. But if you think about it, you were pretty much just hitting your one key. You know, maybe the 2 key once in a while, but that was pretty much it. So, but anyway, but yeah, no, the game's definitely changed, but I made all the mistakes just like everybody else. So just be patient when you see these young guys and you do dungeons, because you yourself was once a noob. So help them out.
Now, the second question you had, which is really short, is he wanted to know what your favorite raiding snack food was. Are you a raid food snacker guy, or you gotta just go at it?
I actually might possibly have a little boozle, you know, maybe during the raid. So I'm a big fan of, you know, beer and vodka. You know, I mean, now this is for you younger listeners out there. These are different types of water.
Of water?
Some are like
Right.
vitamin water,
Sure.
and, you know, that kind of thing. Just different brands, really. But I don't eat as much during the raid, actually, but I tend to drink during the raid. So I don't really have a snack food, but I think like classic stuff like pizza is always great. A little greasy though, but more of a drinking man than an eating man during the raids.
Good deal, thanks.
Okay, well, Megacode wants to know, how come while in LFR Lei Shin, I hear you still yelling at me to get out of bad?
Right?
And also, who's your favorite Holy Pally?
Wow. Let me think. Who could possibly be my favorite holy pal? Going to be Megacode? Yeah. No, it's definitely Megacode's awesome. He's an incredible guy, an
So
incredible
sweet.
player, and he's like a firefighter. You know what I mean? He's like saving people's lives in real life and in game. So it's amazing. Although he plays at the station, so
He's
you know,
always playing at work, yeah.
right. So, but see, at work for him is at the firehouse. Like, that's an important job. You know, you should be saving people, not pulling late shit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he might have his priorities a little. I mean, you're at the firehouse. Let's save some people rather than, you know,
Well,
stand in
even
pool.
got a little downtime. They got a little downtime, you know, between
that's
between
true.
stuff.
That's true.
Well, he
That's
has
very-
at least 2 Holy Pallies that I know of, Megacode and Megan Code. And he
Right.
put Megan Code in the Salad Senate with us.
That's
awesome. Love it. But he's like, okay, if I DC real quick, it's because there's a 911 call.
Right. How crazy is that? Like, who says that? Like, that's unbelievable. Like, I
Wow.
got to go save people's lives. BRB. You know what I mean?
Right,
AFK.
like, oh man, there goes Megacode again. Jeez.
Right. Right.
Guys,
But you
that
can't
is
get
the
mad
poll.
at the guy. Oh, it's unreal.
Oh, he's so sweet and nice. Oh, I really like him.
Yeah,
really,
he is a great
that's
guy.
One
But he-
good thing about CTR is I've met some really cool people, and he's one of them.
Yeah, but he does stand in poo, and it's just outrageous. I mean, Mega, if you're listening, come on, man. This is just, I don't care anymore. Stop with the poo. This is outrageous. No, I'm kidding. You know, Mega's a great part of the team, and we're so happy to have him with the AI, so it's great.
Awesome. Next question is from Saint Jim. It's a 2-part question. He says, "Howdy, Colt. Got a 2-part question for you. I'm a former Mage main and recently tried to pick my Mage back up and get him geared, only to find out how unforgiving several of the encounters in Tier 15 are to mages, particularly regarding the lack of mobility compared to other classes. I'm looking at you, Arcane. What can I do to improve my movement DPS?" Is the first part of the question. And also he asks, what changes would you like to see brought to the Mage class, whether it be movement changes or general raid utility? Best regards, St. Jim.
I know St. Jim. He's a nice guy. That's the biggest problem with mages, is that they are turrets. That's it. They do their most DPS when we can just stand there and blast away. And that's a significant change from like a Warlock. Warlocks have this level 90 talent called Kill Jaden's Cunning. And it's incredible. And I so wish that was on a Mage, because they can do their entire rotation on the move. You know, so they're a little slower, but really you can be just as effective on the move as you are standing still. Fights like Tortos as a Mage is a nightmare, because there's so much movement, and mages need to literally plant and cast, and it's the hardest thing to do. Improving your mobility as DPS. There's also a fire on the move is amazing. It's a lot easier to DPS on the move as fire compared to frost, and especially arcane. But with fire, you can't really switch to fire until you've got 37% self-buffed crit, which is a lot. That's insane. So I'm still frost. I can't wait to go fire, but I don't have the gear yet. So, I mean, you can, but if you want to be like really effective, then they say you should wait till 37%. But as far as like learning to get better, Blink is your friend. Do not run from point A to B. Blink, it's instant. And then once you get to B, you can start casting immediately. Like, that's the job. And also think you always need to be casting. So if you're ever on the move, let's say Blink's on cooldown and you've got to move, you should always be casting something. Never just be standing there or running from point A to B. As a Frost Mage, you're going to get those Fingers of Frost procs, which are going to give you a nice crit with your Ice Lance. So have one in the chamber ready to go. Just hold on to it in case you have to move. So when you do move, you can fire off an Ice Lance, crit for big damage. And also, even if you don't have a Fingers of Frost proc, still cast Ice Lance on the move. And the same goes with, fire. You can scorch and, do all that stuff. Like, fire is so much better for mobility. But the biggest thing for me was stop moving around. Like, just stand and then get to your next point as quickly as you possibly can and then start casting. Don't, like, run and then, like, oh, let me just spend some time finding that sweet spot. Like, get to as close to where you need to be, stop, and then start casting immediately. You want to be offensive, not defensive, as a mage. And you're going to find your DPS is going to go up big time.
Good stuff.
Yeah, but it's tough. And, like, Incanter's Ward is actually pretty good as well for on-the-move stuff. Like, Rune of Power, you've got to kind of set it down there. Luckily, you can have 2. But Incanter's Ward is a good way to kind of get a passive damage buff. You can use it before you take damage. That kind of helps as well. Because the other one, Invocation, you have to stand still, you have to evocate, but the cast time's cut in half, and then you can start DPSing. But it is hard as a mage for mobile DPS. Just know that you're not screwing up. It's just how the class is made. The class is made to be a turret, not to be moving around the field. So it's tough.
Okay. Good stuff.
Belly, got another one?
I have one more.
Yeah.
It's from Mickey, M-I-K-Y-I. Has doing the CTR podcast changed your relationship with WoW at all? How you play and think about the game?
Absolutely, man. Oh my gosh, absolutely. I think the big thing is that I'm in it for different reasons now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm playing WoW for it's like for the community now. It's for meeting and interacting with people now. Like, before, it was all about, like, all right, loot, and we got to do hardcore progression. And now it's much more social for me. I log in and I get whispers from people, and I love it. I love being able to interact, with people, with fans of the show. Checking my mailbox and seeing nothing but bat guano. Like, it's fantastic. But no, it's really changed how I look at WoW. That I look at it more of in a social medium, being able to connect with people that love the community, that love the show, and that's kind of how it's kind of changed for me. And I would actually ask you guys the same thing. Like, has this changed your outlook on WoW?
Well, for me, the biggest thing has been, like, just the guild in general. I mean, the guild that I was on before was a really small guild. We were all, close, but the guild kind of started to break up a little bit. So I was kind of at a crossroads in my playing. The raid team kind of fell apart, and then you guys announced, like, a week later that you guys were starting up this guild. And awesome. I mean, coming over here and hooking up with Sal and doing the show and meeting everybody, it's just reinvigorated my love for the game. I mean, and then we have so many people that want to raid, and it's just the energy level is just so much higher. It's for me, like, it's definitely, like, jump started my wowing for big time.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I don't know that I'd still be playing the game, actually, to be honest with you, if I didn't come over. That's kind of where I was at in the game. It was just kind of like people were busy and the guild was kind of breaking up, and I was like, But no, this is totally just, I got jazzed up again after coming over here, and it's been great. So
that's awesome.
I didn't think about that before, but yeah, it totally changed it for me. Me coming to CTR was actually a very sad move for me because I loved my old guild, but they were in Australia. I moved and it wasn't in the same time zone anymore, and so I used to, be in a guild with a bunch of Aussies, and yeah, I agree, I love them. And they're my friends, but they're not online at the same time I am now. So when I heard the announcement, I'm like, okay, I'll switch. And a few people were like, what are you doing? They're on Real ID. They'll see me still. But I went from being a noob over there because I was, and I couldn't raid because my internet was terrible. And they kept trying, and I just couldn't. So then suddenly I could raid. I was an American. I had decent internet. And right. And then I became a leader, and it had some responsibility. And there are a few people that ask me questions about how to play WoW and what's going on and where to go. And I went from being the noob to someone who could answer these kinds of questions and help out people. And that was a really different experience for me. So yeah, being in the CTR guild definitely changed my relationship with WoW. And didn't think about that until we asked you. That's a good question. Who asked that? That was excellent. Phil, who was that?
That was Mickey, M-I-K-Y-I.
You win.
I'm saying that right.
No, it's a great question. And it speaks to the point where people will say, will WoW ever die? Or at what point? And I think one of the ongoing reasons that WoW is so successful and continues to be is the community. It's the people. It's these interactions with so many people, and that's what keeps WoW going. I mean, new content, obviously, and all that kind of stuff, but it's these connections, these relationships, because these are real relationships that you're establishing with people. And, I can't wait to see you guys at BlizzCon. Like, this is going to be great. And see you guys, see other members of the CTR community. Like, this is real stuff, and it's going to be amazing. So I think that's why WoW, in a way, will never die, because, these friendships are just going to last and continue forever. So it's good stuff.
Awesome.
Well, I have one more question, and then we'll be done with the questions. Primoc asks, what color is your robe? Is it terry or velour? Mid-thigh or mid-calf? Inquiring minds just got to know.
Yes, it is a red robe.
Oh.
It's it's red, actually. It's kind of red, a little maroonish. It's nice and fluffy. There's a big K on it for Koltrane. And it comes with a cigar and lots of booze holders, in it. Yeah, because, hey, Mr. Boozy, it's time to get woozy at pretty much at all times. So, yeah, it's a red robe that I couldn't get out of the cleaners in time. All 5 of them are actually there right now. So
that's awesome. Well, listen, Koltrane, man, thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time out. Like I said before, I know you're a busy guy. I know I speak for myself and really everyone else that in the guild and in CTR land, and we're just so thankful for what you do for the community, the show every week, the entertainment and the comedy that you provide. You can't put a price on that. You know what I mean? And we appreciate that big time. You know what I mean? It's so much fun listening to you, and it's awesome. So thank you very much. I really mean that.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you having me on. The segments are so much fun to do. And in fact, actually, did you guys ever watch, did you see the legendary episode that we did?
Oh, yeah.
Stinky Mage Pants?
Yeah. That was amazing. That was my favorite.
Well, I can say to you that all great legendary tales need a trilogy. So I'm currently writing book 2, I guess. Yes, it's going to be a trilogy for Stinky Mage Pants. So I'm actually right now, in fact, right after I get done with this, I got to get back to it. I'm writing the script for the second one. So for Koltrane and the whole Stinky Mage Pants thing and the legend, and I'm actually really jazzed about it. This one's going to be epic and cool, and it's going to kind of be the empire of the trilogy. So
amazing.
So it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. I already talked to Pat about it, kind of showed him some bullet points, and he's like, oh, this is going to be great. So it should be fun. So hopefully you guys will like it. You should check out that old episode for new listeners. It's titled Legendary, and you can kind of catch up on the story of Koltrane and his Stinky Mage Pants and that whole thing. Okay. But so expect a book 2 pretty soon.
You heard it here first, guys.
That's right.
Exclusive.
Right. In fact, actually, now I've screwed myself because I completely committed myself to it now.
You have to do
I'm
it.
screwed.
Now.
Right, exactly. I'm screwed. But thank you so much for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for your time, and we appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you at BlizzCon. We're fired up, man.
Absolutely. It's going to be great, and keep doing what you guys are doing, man. This is a great show, and it's a great thing for the community, and you guys are just doing a fantastic job. So thank you again for having me on.
Thank you. All right, take care. See you in game.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
What a fantastic interview, Koltrane. What a guy, man. That guy is just down to earth, keeping it real. I love that dude, man. He's funny too, man.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
That was fun to do.
Well, hey, man, we got Red in the house. What's up, Red?
Hey, Red.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing really good. Good to see you.
Good, you too.
So you got some information about the guild events, right?
I sure do. We got 5 new event planners in the past month. So
Ooh.
a lot of things have been going on. Some really great events have been planned. I'm really excited. The new event planners, though, they're great, and they've been working super hard. So if you see them around, give them a pat on the back, give them a wave, maybe a tickle, I don't know, whatever.
Who are the new guild event planners?
Okay, cool. So we have Thea, and Tuarts, True Lumiere, Xanader, and Arya. And they're all wonderful, and they all have some really great events planned, or are working on planning them. So
awesome.
Definitely pretty exciting. Coming up in the next, 2 weeks or so, we have 3 different events that are for sure on the calendar. Like, you go to your calendar by your map, there it is, it's on the calendar. The first one we have going on is Pony Runs, which is my event, and it's going to be reoccurring pretty much whenever I can do it. But it should be just about every Monday at 2 o'clock server.
What's a pony run?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Well, okay, so mount, the word mount is kind of a weird word for me. So all mounts are ponies. So that's like the first thing you need to know.
Okay.
So it's a mount run, and
so
we're
even
gonna
if it's like a dragon, it's a pony.
Yep, dragon's a pony.
Okay. Got it.
Bird's a pony. They're all ponies. Just the thing that you hit your little pony button for, ponies.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're all really easy raids. It's just for fun. But we're gonna be doing. Let's see, it's OS 3D. So Obsidian Sanctum. We're gonna do Tempest Keep for Ashes. You have Tempest Keep? You have Ashes?
No. The one before you.
Do you have the Twilight one or the
Everyone
red
has
one?
that.
Okay. Yeah.
One for Obsidian Sanctum. That one.
Yeah. We're gonna do either 25-man or 10-man, depending on A, how many people come, and B, who needs what pony. Because if no one needs the 10-man, let's do the 25-man, because it's pretty much all Raffle Stomp now. So.
Yeah.
And then VOA, if we have it, which we should, because we own. And so that's like a chance.
That place.
Yeah, no,
Balls. Yeah.
There's some, I think 2-seaters, 3-seaters in there that you can get.
Wow.
Is that the one in Wintergrass?
Yeah, World of Warcraft or whatever.
It is. Yeah.
Oh,
so
you know what? I started playing just a couple years ago, right as Cata came out. So
that's when I started as well.
didn't really experience. I mean, I've been to Wintergrasp a lot, but someone brought me into that raid one time, and I said, why did you know if this existed? So
that was pretty challenging.
I've been there once.
I mean, whenever the new bosses would come out, it was kind of like, it took a couple weeks to figure it out.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good place.
I'm down for going to that.
Yeah, and there's actually an achievement that a lot of people don't have from that time. I think it's Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you have to kill 3 of them all at the same time. Roughly, within 10 seconds. Yeah, so you just bring them to the center, and then you just kill them all. And so provided we have the, survivability to be able to do that, we should be good for that as well, which is pretty cool. So bonus achievement.
Sweet.
And then we go over to Eye of Eternity to kill Malagos. Yeah. And there's another achievement there, the Deny and the Scion. And you get on the little thing and you kill the little guys on their hovercrafts. They're like hovercrafts, yeah. And then that drops 2 ponies. That drops the Blue Drake and the Azure Drake, both of which are gorgeous. And then on to Onyxia, because we all like to drown ourselves in tears, because that one will never ever drop. I've seen, so I've been doing pony runs with my old guild for, since I've been playing, since pretty much a month after I started playing, which was Firelands. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I've seen Ashes drop 4 times during that time. I didn't win any of the rolls. But, but I've never seen Onyxia drop. Never seen it drop. But, so hopefully, with Convert Trade.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds really fun.
Yeah. And it's all really, really quick. Now you can do it in about 30-45 minutes. Okay. So it's pretty simple. It's kind of just bring your friends, because you can. I mean, because why solo something where you can bring friends along?
Right.
So that's kind of cool. And then, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just kind of, everybody likes ponies, and there's transmog gear too. So it's need what you need.
So that's on it's on everyone's calendar in the guild?
Yeah, okay. It's on the calendar for this coming Monday and then the Monday afterwards. I don't know the dates. But it's on there 2 o'clock, and it should be a good time had by all. I think the next one after that is the White Weapon and Tabard Duel Tournament.
That sounds fun to me.
That, I'm really excited. So basically what happens is your character, not you, takes off all of your clothes, and you go to, there's specified stores where you can buy your weapon from, because you have to have a weapon, because a lot of hunters, they can't Like, what are they going to do? Like, beat you with their... I don't know. Anyway, so you can buy your specific weapons from these 2 shops that you can go to, and they're white weapons. They have, like, practically no stats and completely useless weapons. And then you can put on a tabard that has no stats. You can't be wearing trinkets, rings, necklaces, boots. Like, you got to be stark naked, nothing in your pockets, kind of a thing. And then it's just PvP tournament, you know? Go against each other, hopefully kill someone. In a friendly way.
In a friendly way.
In a friendly way. You have to be level 90 to do it, though. If there is enough interest in some lower levels, then maybe. But since there's a lot of imbalance, like you're not kind of like an 83 go up against an 85. Like that'd be kind of weird. So,
okay.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool. That is the 23rd at 3 p.m. server time.
Is that also on the calendar, or?
It is also on the calendar.
Awesome. Okay.
On the calendar, on the forums, there's a little bit more information, like the stores that you can get it from. It looks like Willer's Arsenal or the Empty Quiver in Stormwind, where you can get your weapons.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so it should be cool. But the cool thing about that is you get to pick your favorite tabard. So I'm really hoping to see some really cool tabards like the Scarlet Crusade tabard, or, you know, just someone's pull them out of their banks, you know, just stick it on, so you can... at least get a little bit different. So you're not like naked.
I like the achievement one with the
yeah, that one's pretty. I don't think I have that one because I'm really bad at achievements, but
I have 2 achievements.
2 whole achievements.
2 whole achievements. Yeah.
The next one is kind of a let's all do something together, but also let's help out the guild and our guildies. It's a cloth competition. It's really basic. So you get together outside of chat around 6 p.m. server time, I think, is the one for Netherweave. And you're just going to go out, whatever way you can get the most Netherweave in an hour. Don't use the stuff from your bags. Don't go to the auction house. Just gather the stuff up. And that stuff will be either donated to the bank to make bags, either make bags and then sold so we can all have money in the bank, because that's good. Mm-hmm. And then the same thing with Frostweave at 8. Yeah, at 8. And so, you know, just gather as much as you can. Go to that one place in Ice Crown, you know, where all the little mobs are, and you just kind of just kill them all.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
okay,
just as much
so
as
it's
we
a
can
competition.
gather. So they'll all be counted up. You know, you'll trade it in, and whoever has the most. It's kind of like it's not like a here you get a thing, but it's a here you rock, you helped us out kind of a thing.
Hey, here's 2 thumbs up.
You win.
You're the man.
Yeah. In the
Nice.
future, because I know that this is something that's going to be happening with different mats. Cloth's kind of easy because everybody can participate. You don't have to be a tailor to get cloth. So, although they are going to have a pretty big advantage with the Frostweave. With mining, you know, you can't really get ore if you're not a miner. So,
right.
But it should be good. Pretty excited about it. There might be ones, depending on how this one goes, might be one later on, maybe incorporating some prizes. We're still trying to get all of the prizes kind of system worked out for things, because we've been having people saying, hey, you know, do you want this for a prize? And we're like, sure. So we're trying to keep track of, you know, where those are coming from. And as we get that stuff kind of set up, we're kind of holding off on doing a whole lot of prizes, although there are several events coming up on the horizon that do have prizes attached to them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know what those are? Are those like down low,
teasers?
or are we getting a little teaser or what?
Well, I can tell you the events. The prizes are still a little bit, they're in the works, but so some of the ones we have coming up. Amazing Azeroth race. So you get hints from people, and you go place to place, and
nice.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
That sounds good.
It's still being kind of tweaked, so there may be some changes, but that should be on the forums in the next week or so. We're working as a team on the 5.4 bootcamp sessions.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so we're starting that. There are going to be some changes, but that's all, you know, in flux. So, but after, I think it was like 3 days ago, the PTR information started being data mined. And so all that information is coming in. I'm sitting here going, I need to start that. So we're going to get that started going here pretty soon. And then Xanator is actually working on lore corners, which is basically, it's going to be a mixture of RP and some learn your lore type session. So you get in Mumble, you get on your character, get in some cool RP clothes, make a little bit of a story for yourself. And then you all go to a part of Azeroth that has, or Pandaria, that has a section of lore attached to it that is interesting. And like Xander, he is the lore genius. He once took me on a rocket ride on one of my lobbies through Northrend and basically told me the whole lore of Northrend, because I don't quest. I'm a terrible quester, and when I do quest, I don't read the quest text, but I'm terribly interested in lore, but not enough to read the quest text. So so he took me on a tour, and he knows so much. It is awesome. So that'll be really fun, I think, for people.
Cool.
Well, here's your first lore lesson. I'll give you a lore lesson.
All right.
Pandaria is actually in
It
Azeroth.
is in Azeroth. As I said that, I was like, man, that's right there. It's right there. But so Outlands.
Sorry,
Outlands.
I'm just being a
It's
jerk.
okay. No, it's cool. It's cool. But yeah, and I think there are a couple others that are being worked on too. I know we've had a couple brainstorming sessions, kind of sit down and say, okay, we need a huge list of events so that when we don't know what to do, we just pick one out of a hat.
Yes.
There's another one. There's another one that's being talked about on the forums right now, and it's actually, it was a suggestion by Athledane, one of our lovely guildies, and he suggested it was around, I believe, Memorial Day, and he suggested something to honor our fellow guildies who have either served in various militaries around the world, or those who have fallen for any reason at all, or just people that we personally would like to honor, having some kind of event for that. So that is actually starting to get off the ground. We're hoping to have it in late July. So that should be really exciting.
Cool.
I'm pretty stoked for that. But yeah.
So if people
There's
have
a lot of
ideas
service members in the guild
for events, what's the best way to get them to you?
We actually have an events email, so ctrguildevents@gmail.
Awesome.
Or just poke me in game. Although if I'm doing something, I may just say, hey, email this. But yeah, no, the email, I try and check it as often as I can. I've got like 8 emails right now, so I'm trying to figure out a way to consolidate them. But I generally will take the suggestion and put it over in our super secret event planner form, and then we'll see who wants to pick it up. Super secret.
Yeah.
Okay.
See if anybody wants to pick it up, and kind of like work out some of the kinks. And so let's say you have an event that you want to do, that you want to be like really involved in, and that's cool. You just let us know, and we'll just set an event planner with you, just in case you need help from the officers. It's kind of just so you have that connection, so they can you have the resources that you need to get stuff done.
Cool. And if they want to get a hold of you personally, I know you're on Twitter.
Personally, I am on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's at _VRed.
Okay.
So that's my Twitter. And then if you have something like to email me about that's not event related, I don't know what you'd have to email me about, but if you do, it's let's see, I think it's theredctr@gmail.
Cool.
Great. Yeah, you're all over the Twitter. So that's a really good way to get a hold of you.
Yeah, I really, really like Twitter.
That's
it's a great way to get hold of me, though, for sure. I get like 12 notifications saying, somebody likes you, talking to you.
That's good. Well, hey, listen, thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time out to come on and talk to us. And we'll be able to find you in-game and in Twitter and everything else, and keep the events going. That's awesome. It's good for the guild. So.
Love it.
Great, well, thank you, guys.
All right, well, thanks for coming on.
Bye, Red.
Take care, Red. Bye.
Hey guys, Louu here. Got a couple really big announcements for you. First and foremost, if you don't know, Tiki has stepped down from the Chief Raid Liaison position. But not to worry, you guys have me! Right? Oh, okay. Well, on the other side of that, we are bringing aboard a third Raid Liaison who will actually be unveiled at the Town Hall meeting. So if you are not planning on attending, you probably should. Lots of great information coming up through there. Raider ranks are also becoming active soon, so we'll have repairs for all you raiders out there and other various perks. If your front page is not up to snuff, make sure you get that. If you feel it is up to snuff and you haven't gotten your raider rank or your raid lead or your co-lead in raid leader rank, please email me at the raid liaison email. That's ctrraids@gmail.com. And there's a whole thread on that. There's actually an announcement in the team pages, so check that out if you have any questions. Apparently we're a little light in the raiding world this past couple weeks. We have a lot less people shouting out this week, so come on guys, make sure we're killing some bosses. We have Omega, 3 of 12 in TOT. Good for you guys. Over Easy killed Heroic Jinrock and are now punting kittens at Heroic Jikun. Good for you guys. Use those kittens to your advantage. We have Rolling Thunder, who downed Tortos on their first full night of progression on him. Awesome. Wow, he's tricky. We downed him with a single hunter left standing at 20% health. That is why you need 50 hunters per every 10-man raid team. Yes, 50 per 10-man. We have Convert to Beer is 10 of 10 in TOT, and they are also recruiting a DK DPS. So, stop by there, guys, if you are in need of a team. Brood Awakening is 4 of 12 in TOT. Good job. Rolling Thunder, thanks to Methodic, one-shot Council and is now working on Tortos. The 0% heroes are 1 of 12 heroic. Watermelon Initiative is 4 of 12 in TOT. Stack for Pound is 12 of 12 in total of 14 attempts. I'm not sure how many hours they did, but wow, that's really awesome, guys. And lastly, we have Savage Cherry Tomatoes, who are now 16 of 16, which, yes, is in fact better than 0 of 12. They will be heading into TOT, so good luck to you guys in there. That's all I've got for you guys this week. Tune in for the town hall for all the exciting raid news coming at you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for coming on, Louu, with the raid awareness segment that we like to do here to talk about your raid team. Be sure to put on the forums what kind of progression you're making so you can get your team on there too. So, Belle, we have something new tonight.
We do.
Want to tell us about it?
I do. We got a section we're going to have in the show called Converted Shoutouts. Do you want to give a fellow guildie a shout out? You can tweet us at our new Twitter account. Come on, man.
Okay, starting. Just keep recording. We'll keep going. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Louu, for coming on for Raid Awareness. If you want to get your team on Raid Awareness so we can hear about your progression, be sure to post it in the forums and our team pages. Okay, now, Belle Schnickel, we got something to do this week.
We do.
Tell us about it?
I do. We have a new section for the show called Converted Shoutouts. If you want to give a fellow guildie a shout-out, all you have to do is tweet us at our new Twitter account for the show. It's converted_CTR. You tweet there at any point in time over the next couple weeks and just say, hey, I want to give a shout out to whatever, so-and-so, and we'll read it on the next show. So it's a way of you guys giving shout outs over the air to your fellow peeps. So that's going to be new. And we got a couple this week, actually. We kind of announced it on Twitter this week. So we got a couple to start us off. We got Louu says, Louu wants to shout out to Schmoopy for being the best partner a gal could have. Aw, that's sweet. Yes. We got Boone wants to be sure that everyone refrains from giving him a shout out. So we're not going to give Boone a shout out.
No.
Stay classy CTR Galleon says Podo.
No. Stay classy CTR Galleon says Podo.
Ooh, that was pretty bad.
That was from Podo.
That was actually horrible. My apologies, Podo. My bad.
I thought there was someone called Stay Classy CTR Galleon.
I don't know.
That's a really long Twitter handle, yo.
It could happen. I've seen longer. All right, keep us going, man.
You can't read my typing. Okay, so the next one is Rex. I think you know Rex, and the reason I think you know Rex is because he says, shout out to For the Win raid team for their Tortos kill.
That's my boy Rex, man. DK. Yes.
And then Rex says, Rex also wants to shout out to Aethadane. I always say it's Aethadane, who runs the Guild LFR runs on Fridays, and to Copperbolt, who does it on Tuesdays. I guess I deserve that.
Yes,
okay.
You do.
Okay. Yes. Well, I can't shout out to her enough, to be honest. Okay. I'm going to say your name wrong. Naoyuki wants to shout out to Bruce Willis and Wow Monk for awesomeness. And also a shout out to us, the Converted, as well. So next time, I'll say your name right. Okay. Hawkeye wants to shout out to Billy Piper for being a fun guy with a fun accent.
Good stuff.
We love our accents, right? Now, Belschnickel, I think you had a few personal shout-outs.
I do. I want to give a shout-out, I don't care what anybody says, to Tickle Nation. You know who you are. I'm giving you guys a shout-out, man, for the random tickles in game. I love it, man. I want to give another shout-out to Devlin. Good time last night, having fun, running around the Barrens. For Bala, Elena J on Twitter, Neo Yuki on Twitter, Furagon on Twitter, and the rest of the Twitter peeps. I know I'm leaving people out, but you guys are great, man. You guys keep me entertained all week, and it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So big shout out to you guys.
You know what? I'm going to give a shout out to someone I've been trying to give a shout out to for weeks and just never have.
Okay.
You ever run across Svulf?
Svulf?
Svulf? Yes, well, he's someone
Okay.
who's been there since the very, very beginning, and he is always running in different groups. If you're ever like, hey, I'm looking for someone to do this, he's like, I'm doing it. I'm there.
Okay.
I can DPS. I can do it all. He is, whatever you want, he's down.
Okay.
He wants to run it. He wants to run it as a raid, as a scenario, as a heroic. He wants to go. And I see him all the time.
That's awesome.
In raid chat, just going groups, and that is awesome. I believe. Now we have a listener email. Bill Schnickel, I'd like you to read that one, please.
All right, this one is from Stumpy Monk, and he had a little something to add to Tickle Nation. He wanted us. He kind of wanted us to read it. I'll read his email. It says, "I have a request that you record a sounder for Bill Schnickel to replace his awful attempt at a catchphrase. Tickle, tickle. Here's Bill Schnickel."
Yeah.
My phrase goes as follows: "Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you reach into your pocket and pull out a nickel. Because he's just so money, here's Bill Schnickel." Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, man. Stumpy Monk, good stuff, man. I like it. Man. He's keeping it tickly. Yeah, that's good. So, we got some YouTube action going on, and we had a couple YouTube people post some comments, so I'm gonna read those real quick.
Okay.
We got H Chili, and we have Torridge Warrior, and he actually issued a challenge, and I accepted the challenge. And it was to read something without stumbling. So here it goes. Ultimate 9 Dragon 4 Tiger Flaming Super Triple Back Spinning Axe Double Ox 5 Cranes Rising Sun Falling Stars Quadruple Fire Punch. Yeah. That's how we do it, Torridge. So bring it, baby. Bring it. We got Cage of Hell saying what's up about his episode. It was awesome having him on again. And we have Moonfell with the Tickle, another member of Tickle Nation. So that's what we got on YouTube this week.
Great. Fantastic. We don't have any iTunes reviews this week, but you're welcome to do that anytime you want. We'll say your name on the air. Now, you can follow us at IamSummer_Sal, and you are at Belschnickel CTR.
Yes.
Is it an underscore there, too?
No, it's just straight. Just straight Belschnickel CTR, yep.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell us the other ways they can contact us?
We have a website. If you guys didn't hear last week,
new.
Brand new website, www.convertedpodcast.com. We have all the archive shows there. You can leave comments on the shows. We have a link to the forum, the Signals Media forum. So if you ever want to go back and see some videos or whatever, you can go watch them there. We have links to YouTube, all that good stuff. So check it out. We're having a lot of fun with that. Again, don't forget about our new Twitter. We have a new Twitter, so it's converted_CTR. That's the show's Twitter. So you guys can use that and follow us there. Also, you can email us at convertedpodcast@gmail.com. Send any emails you want. We get a couple emails every now and then of some good stuff, some good ideas and stuff. So keep those things flowing. Or hit us up in game. We're always in game. I'm always down to do something. If you see me on a non-Wednesday night or Sal on a non-Wednesday night and you want to do something, send us a tell. We'll go run around and do something with you. So that's always good times.
Because what do we do on Wednesdays?
We raid.
Yes.
We have this thing coming too, guys. The forum, the round table. We need you guys to volunteer to sit down with us and talk about different topics. We're going to let you guys know what the topics are beforehand so you won't be caught off guard. But let us know. We got 2 people so far. We want to get up to 4. And we want to have that for next week. So if you're interested in doing that, the round table, you don't have to be a raid leader. You don't have to be you can just be a regular guildie. Wants to come on the show and talk to us about different topics, 5.4, 5.3, flex rating, whatever. We're going to have some good topics for you guys to talk about and getting you guys more involved. So wait for that and hit us up. Let us know. Contact us and we'll get you in there.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up. And next week, we're going to talk to Stack 4 Pound.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks, you can hear another raid team interview. I'm quite interested in that. And you know what? I think that brings us to a close.
It was a great episode. I had a great time. Koltrane, Red, Louu, you.
Yeah.
Pleasure. It's always fun.
Yes, always fun. Okay.
So,
hey, I'll see you next week.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening and watching. Peace out.
Bye.
You don't have to
Hey, we're the
really
monkeys. Yeah. People say we're monkey around. Put anybody down.
Wait. The monkeys never did this. That wasn't out
Did
back
they do
then.
this? Was that?
You're right.
They
They would just sing with it. They would walk. Here we come. Walk with their feet, though.
That was actually a good show.
Down the street.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really.